Hello there, welcome back or welcome to my channel. In this new video I'm gonna talk about my relationship with social media as an artist, and I'm gonna do it while I'm painting an urban sketch for the first time. For those of you who doesn't know me, my name is Luigi, also known as Illustrazioni di Lut. I'm a physicist and self-taught artist. Recently I've been watching a lot of video of the urban sketcher artists and YouTubers Nathan Synced. I'm gonna write in because I'm not sure of the pronunciation. And although I've never been very interested in this kind of topic, so urban sketching, architecture, I think this is a very good way to make a loose approach to watercolor. So I'm gonna try my best. And what else could I choose as first practice in this kind of style as not my place of origin? I'm originally from Prato, a medium-sized city less than 20 kilometers away from Florence, and I'm gonna paint the main square of my city. Coming back to the topic of this video, I want to explain how I develop my social media presence, and I try to make an advantage of it. In order to explain it, I need to go through my artistic path. Mainly I was drawing a lot between the age of 12 and 18 years old. I had a video about it, I will link in the description. Then in the age of 19 I was going to choose between something scientific or the School of Comics in Florence, and I chose for the first choice because it was more reliable in the long term to find a job. So I chose physics, and this was draining me quite a lot in terms of time and effort. Therefore I slowly stopped almost completely from drawing. If we don't consider a little parenthesis, when I bought a Samsung Note, one of these smartphone with pen, I was making some sketches on top of it, but was not a lot. Then I remember clearly this birthday of a friend, while my friends they were looking at my drawings, and they said, "Why don't you open a Facebook page and share your stuff there?" And I thought, well, why not? Seems not a big effort. I need to choose a name, and yeah, I wasn't being that original, I would say. So I chose Illustrazioni di Lut, that literally means illustrations of Lut. Lut was my nickname when I was sharing my drawing in my teenage on a website called manga.et. That was mainly about mangas, as you can imagine, and anime. And it's just the union of the first letters of my name and my surname. So once I've created this Facebook page, I was sharing my stuff on it from time to time. I was drawing very little. I also scanned some old stuff, but after a while the page was inactive. I haven't an Instagram account at that time, but then I discovered that you could link it to Facebook. So I started posting also on Instagram, but still very little stuff and not very often. It was actually only during the pandemic in the 2020 that I started drawing more, almost every evening, and also posting more, of course. This allowed me to get in contact with other like-minded artists and create some challenge, attend to some challenges. I remember 2 years ago having my first and only Draw This in Your Style challenge, and having to see all these artists from all around the world attending to it. It was such an amazing experience. Drawback of this social media presence for an artist is the well-known depression coming from the comparison with the very great artists out there and people having more success than you or stuff like this. But well, then you always need to think about the fact that it's a social media, it's not a place to share art. So it makes sense that somebody that is maybe not drawing that well but engaging a lot or making engaging content can have much more success than you. But still I've been struggling, and I'm still struggling with up and down feelings with respect to social media, so I cannot lie about it. And this is a very common feeling for what I've heard. The point with me is that I created that Facebook page a few years ago, and then the Instagram page, and started sharing this stuff as a boost to create more art, actually. So that was my excuse to sit down on a table and create something. The motivation was to enjoy the process, of course, because I liked, but also to share something with the people out there. Meanwhile, the algorithm changed in a countless amount of time, first asking you to create a carousel, then reels, then posting every day or only 3 times per week or stuff like this. The point is that I was a little bit interested in this social media marketing as well, and creating short-term videos was actually fun to me. So I started following a little bit these trends, and still this thing that they are pushing you to post more was also a motivation to me to create more, because every day I need to post something. That means that every evening before I need to sit down and create something. I'm not very sure if this is a kind of a sick relationship I have with respect to social media. I was wondering about that, and I thought quite a lot if I'm creating only because of the social media, not because of me. But then I think about the fact that, for instance, with Inktober challenge, I go back to my origins, so drawing with fine liners and creating very deep topics and emotional illustrations. And this is make me feel very connected with myself, with the old myself, even if I'm posting like crazy on social media. And then somebody told me, well, you know what? People make art because they want to share them. This is a never-ending fact. And they don't want to hide them most of the time what they do. I remember during my teenage, with the first drawing, I was hiding them from my parents as well, from everybody. I was shamed by them. I thought like I was sharing a deep part inside me that I didn't want to share. Or maybe because the drawing was not finished yet, was not perfect absolutely, I couldn't show them to my parents or to my sister because it was not perfect. And I think that little step I made to start posting them on this manga.it website when I was 14 years old or something, with my 56K modem, a very slow connection, was a big step, because it was sharing my art with people outside my family. So thinking about it now, what really stops me from creating art for more than 10 years during my university was, first of all, the fact that I was very busy and focused on my scientific studies, draining out all my creativity, and the fact that I was not sharing with anybody, and so was almost pointless to me. I know this could sound terrible to somebody, but at the same time, I feel like I'm using social media as much as they are using me, because I'm using them as a creativity booster as much as they are using me to keep people's eyes longer on their platform. Meanwhile, in these past years during the pandemic, I expanded my social media presence to TikTok and recently to YouTube, and I tried Twitch for a short time. I tried Substack with a newsletter for a short time. And then I felt I need to put a break and make a selection of what I really focus on, because stuff like TikTok, posting 4 videos per day was really not fitting to my idea of sharing my art, as well as looking constantly at the numbers of likes and comments on my posting on Instagram was draining me and was not making me feel good. In those moments I had a break from the social presence, or I just start posting without looking at the numbers and the insights, simply. And if I look now at my path in the past 3 years of social media presence, I really feel like I had a lot of satisfaction, many different points of view. I have to say that the pros are much more than the cons. First of all, the fact that this pushed me to get to know more artists and try new technique. First of all, watercolors, today urban sketch, and later also commission and prints requests, collaboration with brands, and maybe something new is gonna happen as well. So I know that this artists' relationship with social media is a very hot topic in the artist communities nowadays. I would like to know how you feel that, if you are in a struggling phase or if you manage to handle it. Please leave a comment below. I really want to know that. And if you watched this video till now, I invite you to leave a like and subscribe the channel, and I thank you very much for your appreciation. Bye bye, thank you, ciao.